We are live. I am Karen Ray. This is Fave Lifestyles. This is our girlfriend chats where we are bringing in guests to sit and talk a little bit about their story, about how they work with women and where they're taking them from and to, and a little bit about your experience at Fave. So, anyway, ladies, welcome and welcome, Jean. Jean is a fabulous photographer. She is part of our community here at Fave Lifestyle. So, Jean, welcome to Biz Chats.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's really exciting.
Yes, and it's fun to see your photographs in the background there too in your studio.
Thank you. Yes, this is my Zoom room.
Your Zoom room,
My happy
excellent.
place.
Yeah, so just to give the girls a little bit of idea of who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, do you want me to go through like my journey and how I got here? Or?
Well, let's just do a brief little overview and then we'll talk a little bit more about your story.
Okay. Okay. Well, I live in Lake Forest Park, just north of Seattle and by Shoreline. And I am a personal branding photographer, and I work primarily with women, our demographic and our age, mostly, 45 to 70s or even older sometimes. And I also do personal portraits, and that's more like if you want to celebrate yourself, say a milestone, an age milestone, or any kind of milestone. You're starting a new business and you just want more personal. Glam is a little bit of a, you think of 80s type of, it has a negative connotation, but it's almost like glam. You bring in a beautiful dress, and you can sometimes do that at the end of your personal branding shoots too. I really encourage that. But those two types of photo shoots for women, the personal branding and the more personal photo shoot.
Yes, yes.
And so that's what I do, and I help women really see their beauty as I see it through the lens of my camera. And let's see. And
let's pause there for a second because I'm going to put a few words in there. You are a photographer extraordinaire. And I say that because I have seen a lot of your work, and what you capture is beyond what a branding photo. People a lot of times think of branding photo, you're sitting there, you capture the essence of a person and you capture their personality. Okay. And I just saw that in Vanessa Lytrell's photo shoot that she is putting out there currently. And she is a musician. She's vivacious. She's got this great personality. And she's got these photos that are just alive. And that's what each person that I have seen, and you have done many of the women here at Fave.
Yes.
You capture their personality so well. And it's like you're speaking to them. When you see their photograph, and it's just so it's beyond branding. I mean, and because it is not just posing, it's like alive.
Well, I think that a lot of people look at my website, my Instagram, and they say, "Oh, how do you do that? You can't do that to me." And I do. And I think a big part of it is connecting with them. And I have a Zoom call ahead of time every time. And I used to be a social worker. Okay. And everybody has very similar concerns. There's a lot of concerns, especially at our age, about weight. And there's a lot of concerns about, everybody thinks, "Oh, I'm not photogenic." I mean, that's very common. And there's concerns about age sometimes. And there are concerns about, "Oh, I can't pose. You don't have to worry about that." And I can pose for different body types. Everybody has a different body type. And sometimes there's body image trauma from the past, from past spouses or mates and parents and, society. And those are very common. And nerves. Everybody that walks in my studio, when they first get here, they're nervous. It's to a T, unless they happen to be a model, of course. So anyway, all those things. But the connection is really a huge part of my job. And that's where the talking ahead of time, they get here. Usually they sit down for hair and makeup, professional hair and makeup. And we talk, and we talk during the photo shoot. It's just a real safe space. and I'm not an intimidating person.
Yeah.
And the makeup artist leaves, so it's just us here. And
Mm.
it's just that connection that really brings out the expressions every time. So.
Oh, that is so great. And you have such a great system. I am up next. So, ladies, you'll be able to come experience that with me, and we'll take you along for the ride and what that's like. And Jean, to be honest, I have to say that was one of my biggest concerns is that through the pandemic, a lot of us gained weight.
Yes.
Or we've gone through menopause and we're just a little puffier than we used to be. And you don't want to capture that puff on camera. And so we're like, oh, I don't feel like myself or whatever. But I've seen what you have done, and it is just extraordinary. So I'm really excited because as many of the women know here, that I had a broken arm and leg. I was actually scheduled like that week that I broke my arm and leg to have my pictures taken. And so we've had to put that off, but looking forward to that here. And so, but you were doing so many other things too. And I want to talk a little bit about you and your story. So how did you get started? And how long have you been doing photography?
Oh my gosh, it's a lifelong passion.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I'll just go briefly over it. So even back in middle school, I had a class and I found that a real joy in it, and that I was, pretty good at it. And then in high school, I took a darkroom class, and my teacher, unbeknownst to me, submitted some of my work into contests, and I won them. I don't know how many he submitted to. Just a few things that I won. And then I had a child when I was 27, my first baby, and I had a new subject, and I just went crazy.
Oh.
And then all his little preschool friends, the families wanted me to photograph them. And this used to be a garage back in the day, and now it's a separate front entrance, and it's this dedicated studio, and it shuts off to the rest of the house. But anyway, so I started out photographing just in the garage with natural light and the door open and film, black and white. I had my own dark room in the house, and so I was doing that for a little while, just off and on, and volunteering at the schools and stuff. Then I had my husband went and bought me professional lights, and boom, I found out I was pregnant with the third baby, like a week later, right? And I just immediately sank into this big depression. And so I stopped all photographing pretty much. And my husband got a job, or maybe he was in a job where he was traveling like half the time. And so I became like a single mom with 3 kids under 5. And that went on for years. I was a stay-at-home mom. And then my youngest daughter, when she was 14, decided to drop out of school and my mother-in-law came and homeschooled her. And that was like the turning point. And I decided to quit my job in social work and to stay home and help. And I was like lonely. I was at loose ends. It's like, what do I do? And I thought, do I want to follow my passion and go back into photography? Yeah. And I didn't know what I was doing. It's like, imposter syndrome, how can I even call myself a photographer? And even though I had some skills, and I look back on those pictures when I visit old friends' houses from preschool, and those look pretty good, those beautiful black and whites. But anyway, I still thought, oh, how can I call myself a businesswoman? How can I call, And so, but then at the same time, I found this online mentor who was amazing, named Sue Bryce, who's very popular now. And she gave me some confidence and some business skills. So I went out networking few months later, not knowing a thing, not knowing my demographic, how to do business, my message, nothing. And I started taking headshots, and I was, I still had the skills. But yeah, and so I did that. And then over the years, because that was like 9 years ago, and maybe more, 10. And over the years, I sometimes the business fell flat, and I just lost interest, motivation, and I just said, okay, I'm going to quit. And then I couldn't. I kept coming back to it because it's like what I was meant to do. And, so then in 2019, I discovered a coach who's very serendipitously named Malia Jacobs, and she turned everything around. Oh, yeah. And she recognized that I was good at what I was doing and gave me confidence and helped me find my demographic and what I was good at. And the personal branding came to the forefront. And I just boom, right after the pandemic opened up in like June 2020 or whatever it was, because they shut us down for a bit. And just went out the gate and started doing personal branding and other portraiture for women. And that's where I am today. And I changed my mindset in there too, somewhere along the line before I met Malia, but she really cemented it. And that was to get out of the imposter syndrome and get away from that comparisоnism that just really destroys us, is to really realize and focus that you're helping people, you're helping these women, and that they need you.
Oh, yeah.
You're unique. You're like the one person that does you, you know?
Yes. Okay, Jean, you've said a couple really important things that I hope women, no matter what they do, that they are listening. One is, you said some other people gave you, encouraged you to build your confidence. And by them speaking into you along the road, gave you the confidence to move forward. And that is so important, because that's obviously a key piece here at Fave, is what we're doing, is we're speaking into each other, lifting each other up. And then to, like you said, not to end your mindset. We are, a big part of being an entrepreneur is always your mindset. Sometimes that's more important than the actual skills that you need, those business skills. It's like, because as a woman building her own business, boy, it can get, the doubt, the overwhelm, that, like you said, the imposter syndrome, all these different things. But when we have other women and the tools and the resources, and just to move forward. So you have also won some awards and had some accolades along the way. Can you share a couple of those with us?
Well, through this woman, Sue Bryce, she created this incredible international group, I guess you'd call it, called the Portrait Masters. Okay. And it's a very difficult competition because there's just high caliber portrait photographers from all over the world. And they submit once every quarter, I guess. They've got a few, like 7 categories. And one of them is portrait photography. They're all portrait photography, but they're different, like dancers and just different categories. Right. And I submitted work to those a few times, and I got one that was bronze with distinction, which is really hard to get. I got 2 of those, I think. And so that was a big deal. And I got a few bronzes too, and they're rated like 70s and 80s, 90s, and so that was a big deal to me. And then I've been in 4 magazines, and that's pretty big deal. That
is a big deal. And so you were working on a very cool project right now.
Yes, my book project.
Yes. So tell us just briefly about that, because it's fun to be along this journey with you, to see you creating something really spectacular.
Yeah, I love how Fave is supporting me in all this. It's really amazing. Well, my book project is about artists and their passions and obsessions and how it leads them to excellence. So it's going to be about 15, 20 artists from all over the world. And I'm interviewing them and photographing them in their workspace. Yeah. And so that's going to be the primary chunk of the book. And then with some commentary from me. And it's going to be a coffee table book.
Fabulous. I'm looking
forward to next year.
Excellent. Yes, I'm looking forward to that, because like you said, we're on this journey with you, and get to hear about your travels to London, and to meeting these extraordinary artists along the way. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And it's like we're right there with you. So it's super exciting. So in here at Fave, we're currently working on a project of creating a path for women. And it's built around 3 different stages: that foundation stage, that growth stage, and that expansion, where women are really scaling their businesses. you work with women in all those stages. So, but really in what you do, you are taking them from something into something. And you did mention it a little bit, but maybe just kind of review that just real quickly. Where do you really feel those women are when they are coming to you, whichever stage it is, and where do you take them to? You know, what is that transition or that experience that they have?
Well, I think that I'm bringing them from, I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than just bringing them from needing photographs to acquiring photographs.
Right.
I think I'm bringing them from a point of vulnerability and almost a lack of self-confidence in their physical looks.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, not knowing if they can trust me, to get the final images that they like.
Mm-hmm.
And insecurity, nervousness,
Uh-huh.
not wanting to do the shoot.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. Just kind of dreading it,
Oh.
and I bring them to a point of, wow, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. And confidence, and seeing the final images and saying, I'm glad I trusted you.
Yes. I have had the rare privilege to actually, I think two of the women on the same day that they came out of the photo shoot. So they still had their hair and makeup all done. They looked all gorgeous.
Oh.
I think one of them, I think the word was total delight.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the other woman, she was just beaming because she felt so beautiful.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, I don't even know if you can put words around it, because they were just like on this other cloud just floating. And so that's what I want women to realize, that, wow. And that you can get, have it's so much more than just coming and having their picture taken, if you will.
Yeah, I'd say 80% of it's the photo shoot, really, that experience. I think everybody deserves that,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so great. Yes. So as we wrap up our little discussion, is there anything else you would like women to know? And then we're going to talk just a little bit about your experience here at Fave. So anything around the photo shoot or the experience that you would like women to know?
Well, about Fave, I would say that Fave is unlike any other networking group I've ever been in. It is full of an amazing cohesive energy, and it is not all fractured with people that just want to sell their goods. Mm-hmm. It's people that want to support each other, and there's even a sense of, this sounds really dorky, but a sense of love there.
Yeah.
And such support. Fave is for me, it's like a group of friends. Yeah. I go to the Fave events. I love the live events, and I look forward to them. Whereas some of the other networking events I've been in, especially if it's in winter, I just kind of say, oh, do I really want to go? And I think, maybe I can put this one off. But the Fave ones I look forward to, and I want to go to them.
Excellent. Thanks, Jean. Thanks for the support there. And, really, we are so much more than networking. We are a business society of women really journeying together. And that's what it kind of, it's that connection, it's that support, it's the mastermind, because we have really deep and meaningful discussions about how we are journeying. It's, because what? It can be lonely being a woman entrepreneur out there. And like you were saying, when those other women throughout your career, they have lifted you up because they believed in you, or they gave you confidence to keep going. That's a lot of times what we're experiencing in those weekly biz chats that we have. So, and you were there. You are such a support to the other women too. And just, what, Jean, you inspire us, because what you're doing, you're stepping out of your comfort zone by creating that whole book, and you're traveling around the world interviewing these people. And for us to be a part of that, it's really special. and for you to allow us to be on that journey with you. It's really a special connection there. So
Thanks.
yes. So as we wrap up, any wise words you would like to leave with the ladies?
Well, I was thinking about that, and I just was thinking a few things, and I wrote them down if I can remember them now. I would say, when I've had coaches, that's been really beneficial to me. And that one woman, Malia, then wonderful. I want to give you a little plug. And she made me see things in a new way and really raised my confidence. And Sandy too, Sandy Tomato. And so coaches are really, quite important in moving things forward. And like what I said earlier about keeping your focus on your client and helping them. And I think everybody in Fave pretty much does that, all the women that we talk to. And there was something else I wanted to mention. I can't remember what it was though.
Yeah. So I would just really encourage women, if you are being hesitant about having some type of photos done, because maybe you're thinking, well, I'm not slim enough, I'm not beautiful enough, or my hair's not right, or whatever. I encourage you just to talk to Jean, because you are so approachable, and to go take a peek at some of the ladies. So quite a few of the women here at Fave have gotten their photographs done, and just to see the personality and the essence of the woman that comes out. And so would really encourage women to just keep an open mind and see the possibilities.
Yeah, I'd love to just talk with anyone on Zoom or a phone call or something like that. I'll do that anytime.
Absolutely. Well, Jean, thank you for coming and sharing a little bit about your journey with us today. And yes, it's been a pleasure having you here.
Well, thank you. It's been fun.
All right. Bye, ladies.